going to pull this up. We've got Margaret, Monique, Melissa, Karen, all the mamas. We don't have Manamana yet, but we will, I'm sure. She cracks me up. Her video this morning, she said that her nickname is taking off. I'm like, well, I am very proud to go ahead and welcome you with your new nickname.
Yeah,
I
I
think
haven't. Go ahead.
I think we're live. It says they're waiting for us. It says on here we're live. I will just keep talking. Hold on. Here we go. Here, do you see? Oh, there we are. We are live. Just make sure your volume's turned off, and
Yeah.
I'll make sure my volume's turned off, which it wasn't. So, hey everybody, look, we did it. It's us, and we did it. Okay,
Good
so
morning, everybody.
I think the key is I have to be patient and wait for the guests to come on before I go live.
Sometimes,
It's
sometimes I think they can still pop in, and they might be in the background.
yes.
Because I know I go live every third Saturday of the month with Shannon Talks Yarn,
Yep.
and we've had to do that a few times just because connection and everything. So,
Right. If you would send me Shannon's information, if she
mhm.
wouldn't mind, I'd love to have her as a guest as well. Um, I think the goal of this creators in the craft room having coffee is to get the smaller channels a little bit more
Right.
recognition, a little bit more. So Amber, Cyd, go ahead, introduce yourself, tell us about your channel, and take it away for a couple minutes.
Well, hello, everyone. I just want to start off by saying thank you, Kim, for adding or not adding me. Here we go.
You're
Just
fine.
asking me to be a part of this and me a guest on your channel. For those who don't know me, my name is Sydney. I am from Sweet Pea Cyd's Inspirations. That is my channel name. I am a avid fiber artist, so meaning that I process fibers, I spin them to yarn. I
Wow.
crochet, I knit, Tunisian crocheting, and weaving. So you'll find all of that on my channel. Sometimes it's just quirky little things that I'm doing in the background. Sometimes it's tutorials. And sometimes it's just me being weird on my short videos. So that's just a little bit how my channel goes. And yeah.
So I want to, well, hello, Manamana, there you are. Um, Margaret, if you would be so kind, I always rely on Margaret. Margaret, if you could please put a link to Cyd's channel, if you can find it, because I always ask you to do it, and I'm sorry. Poor Margaret, she's probably like, oh, why did she make me an administrator?
He probably
So,
understands.
oh yeah. Everybody, Cyd's a little bit nervous, so we just need to welcome her in with our crazy ways like we always do. Marianne has already pounced on you.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah.
I get it every time I go into live. Pounce.
Of course you do. She's our Tigger of the group. All right. So you tell us a little bit about your journey. How did you get to be this crafty? How did you get interested in this many different types?
Well, I'd say my interest peaked when I was in high school, about junior year. I had a friend, she would, right before the bell rung, she would sit there and crochet. Most of the time, she was working on hats, and that's when
Nice.
it kind of piqued my interest. And then some years went by. I met my husband, and his mom crocheted. And I had asked, mentioned something to him about wanting to learn how to crochet. So she sat me down, and I mean, we sat down for at least a good 6 hours.
Nice.
And she taught me pretty much the basics. My tension was really, really tight. And at that point, I just remember my shoulders hurt and my back hurt. And I looked over at her
Yeah.
and I said, I don't understand how you do this all day. Well, now I do. But about a year went by. I was in college and working two jobs. So I was really, really busy. My mom, she said that she wanted to learn how to crochet. So I said, well, okay. we'll sit down and I kind of know the basics. So we'll go from there and watch YouTube videos and da 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 da. Well, it comes to find
That's
out my grandma, she actually crochets. So we
nice.
got her back into crocheting.
Oh, that's
And
awesome.
yep. And so I just crocheted for about 2 years. And then after having my daughter, I just wanted to kind of venture out and do something different with being a stay at home mom. I needed something that was, separated me from just being a mom and a wife.
Something that helped with sanity.
Yes. And so I learned how to weave on a 32-inch weaving loom, rigid heddle weaving loom at that. And
Wow.
then about a few short months later, I learned how to knit. Everything's been self taught other than crocheting. And then probably about 8 months later, I learned how to spin. So
Now,
within a year's go.
elaborate on spinning a little bit because I only know I watch Cinnamon Stitches.
Mhm,
If anybody's heard of her, and she just started spinning. So can you just in case we have some in here that might not know, and
mhm.
just one quick good morning everybody that has come in. Good morning Vivian. Good morning Karen, Melissa, Margaret. Who else do we have in here? We've got Manamana. We got Amber. Good morning. And Pebbles. All right, everybody. Good morning. Sorry to interrupt you, my dear. Go ahead.
No, you're fine. So, spinning for me, what I do is I have some raw alpaca that I've gotten from somebody.
Hmm.
And so, what I do, and sometimes I don't just use raw fibers, I also buy braids or even hand dye braids myself.
Okay.
And I'll grab one here in a minute because I do have an Etsy shop. And so, most of the time, I do like to work with raw fibers, so meaning that it comes directly off of the animal. Usually, I buy them where they're not processed, so they haven't been washed. I go through that, and then I put them on either hand carders or a drum carder. And then after it has been prepared, I use a little nano, which it
Oh,
doesn't
that's
have
cool.
the bobbin on it just yet.
Yeah.
So this is an electric spinner.
Cool.
So it makes it really, really easy when you're spinning your singles.
Sure.
So after you get at least two bobbins completed, then you apply those together, which I use a manual spinning wheel. So
That's really cool. So you could literally walk out, grab a sheep, and shave it and make me a hat.
pretty much, yep.
I'll give you my address for Christmas.
If if
I'm just kidding.
if I had sheep, yes, I could do that, but I do not have sheep. It it is in the future, hopefully.
Oh, well,
I've
that's
been
awesome.
in my husband's ear about, "Hey, I'm wanting some sheep,"
There you
and
go. Well, hey,
he
save your money at Walmart for the yarn.
Oh, yeah, and even to the point where I'm wanting to go to shearing school. So,
Cool.
that's how avid about it I am.
Now, do you go to the county fairs and watch the shearing displays and demos? That yeah, I watch that, even though I'm not going to shear a sheep.
Right.
Those days are gone.
I would love to, but we moved down to South Carolina about 3 years ago, and this is actually the first year that my husband has weekends off continuously
Nice.
because he actually used to work at a cotton gin.
Oh,
And
fun.
so, yeah, so their peak season is from October to usually the beginning of the year.
Hmm.
So when fairs and stuff like that are going on, um, I don't get that luxury. So,
Right, right. Well, unfortunately, I have too many fairs going on right now.
yeah, yeah,
Too many
you're a
fairs.
busy woman.
Too
Yeah,
many fairs. So Marianne says maybe an alpaca or two.
yeah, yeah.
There you go.
I've got plenty of alpaca. So,
That's awesome.
yeah.
Real quick, before I do another question, I just want to show Melissa and Monique. You said it was a candle cozy, but I put it on one of my house plants. So I just wanted you to see that.
Is that flowers or what's on it?
It's the tulip stitch. They're
Okay.
little tulips. Well, she said flowers, I think, but they're tulips. Isn't that beautiful?
Yes, it is.
And it's cotton, so it can get dirty and I can wash it. So,
There you go. There you go.
so what inspired you to turn on that camera and start a YouTube channel?
I would say an influence of peer pressure.
Really? They're
Yes,
like, "You're just too good, you gotta."
well, I started in the community, the crocheting community, and then it moved into the gardening community because I started learning how to garden about 4 years, well, not 4 years ago, probably about three-ish.
Mhm.
And so, not really growing up in that environment, I had a lot to learn.
Yeah.
So, um, I started hanging around in the garden community. Well, I found some really awesome people. If you've ever heard of Joe over at Garden State Gardener,
Yep.
um, Courtney and her husband Dustin from Wide Family Farms, and then Matt from Operation Capsaicin, which he no longer is on his channel. That was the main people that I was hanging out with. Well, Courtney's husband, Dustin, I was talking to him about growing some ghost peppers. And he was like, "You should
Mm.
start make a YouTube channel and show your ghost peppers and da 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 da." I was like, I thought about it and I was like, okay, I guess I'll do this. So my YouTube channel kind of started as half crochet and half gardening.
Gardening, right? Yeah.
Yeah, and then after garden season was over that year, I was like, I really don't know what else to talk about in gardening because I know nothing about it. So
Right, 'cause
that's
now what?
yeah, so that's when it started going into tutorials and making my update videos and stuff like that.
That's
So
awesome.
and then Shannon over at Shannon Talks Shorn, she asked me about this time last year if I would be willing to start going live with her every third Saturday of the month.
That's
So
awesome.
that's kind of our thing. We switch between channels every
Well,
month.
that's cool. Now,
So
I
yeah.
think YouTube has a new thing now where you can go live from your
Hmm.
own channels, like you can do together. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I have, I have, Marianne. My gardens are a little overgrown right now, um,
Okay.
because I've been a little busy, but I do have some pretty roses going on out there and stuff like that. Now, do you harvest seeds from your garden for next year, or do you go to a local place and buy plants to start your garden?
I do everything from seed.
Nice.
Now I will buy them from either because we have a few hardware shops that sell seeds,
Mm-hmm.
um, or we'll get them from local farmers or sometimes even Walmart. But everything I start from seed.
That's that's at well, you're also in a climate where your growing season's a bit longer,
Yeah,
right? So,
yeah.
yeah. Good morning, Michelle. How
Good
are
morning.
you? Good morning. Um, yeah, so gardening, I find that in the beginning of because winters are so harsh here,
Mm,
we literally have 4 months, start to finish. That's it. And
yeah,
it's already getting cold right now. So everything in the
really.
garden is going to seed. It's
Mm,
already, you know what I mean? So I have a greenhouse and I haven't really got to the point where I can start my seeds early enough so that I can get them in the ground in May. You know what
mm,
I mean? So I have to start with plants.
right.
So I'm trying to get to the point where I have a real greenhouse and I can heat it and I can start everything from seed. But again, the different growing zones, as you
Hmm.
know, now gardening, you're probably in 3. Are you in zone 3?
I'm in zone 7.
7. Oh,
Hmm.
that's right. It goes the other way. Goes
Yep.
long. Yeah. Sorry. Because I'm in 5. They just changed us to 5.5, I believe.
Oh, okay. Well, that's a little bit better.
All right, thank you for the half. Thank you. So it's really fun to watch. Yeah, Margaret, you're exactly. Our gardens are crazy. Even our vegetable gardens are crazy. Like you can't keep up with the fruit it's producing, but it's
Mhm.
also the weeds are ridiculous.
Oh, yeah.
Right?
Yes.
Right?
We
They're ridiculous.
we started with, we're actually changing it next year because 'cause I'm just tired of dealing with the weeds and overgrowth and everything, so we're actually switching to a raised gardens.
Nice.
So
Yeah,
I
less time spent on your to this day, from weeding the garden, first week my brother did it, my wrist still hurts because I'm old.
oh.
And that's what it's like, okay, I'm not doing that anymore. He
Yeah,
yells at me to weed the garden. I'm like, no, I'm not doing it anymore.
and
I'll
it
pick
just go ahead.
I will pick the beans all day long, but they're gonna
Oh,
be
yeah.
from waist up. I'm not
Yeah.
bending. I'm done. He's like, "Well, who's gonna do the bottom?" Burp, burp, burp. You've met
Yeah.
my brother. Have you seen one of the videos where my brother's been on?
I don't think so.
Oh, oh.
I'll have to go back and watch it.
Come on, everybody. She needs to meet Al, right? You gotta meet Al. Um, he's Yosemite Sam. So can you share a story behind what you feel is your most popular video? What one did you put out there that just it got the most hits, it got the most everything? Um,
Well, it was actually one of my first designs, public designs, which I actually have right here.
oh, that'd be
Um,
awesome.
it is called the Simply Twisted Shawl.
Okay.
Um,
Oh, that's beautiful.
so the original intent with this shawl was
Oh,
going to be, thank you. It was going to be one of those keyhole
yep,
shawls where you
yep.
can weave it.
Tuck it
And
through.
then,
Yep.
yep, I decided to change it kind of at the last minute. I didn't like the look of it. But yeah, it really took off last year. I think right now it's got about 23,000 views.
Nice.
Um, and that's where a majority of my subscribers have came from, was from that video. So I'm
That's
very, very
awesome.
I'm very, very thankful for,
That's really awesome.
yeah, for the subscribers and the views and all of that. So, um, yeah, like I said, it was just one of my first public designs. I was very new to it, and I was like really stunned that it took off.
Isn't that a fun feeling? I can
It
remember,
is.
I don't check it as much as I do now, but watching your subscriber count go up and watching, I do check it like once a week.
Mhm.
Um, but to watch it climb and then all of a sudden you drop a couple, you're like, wait, 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 where did they go? What
Yeah.
come back? It's really fun. I love it. I love the community we have here.
Mhm.
There we go. And just the sharing and the support. So it's really just to back up a little bit. Everybody says, "Oh my God, yes, you need to meet Al. He's the mayor of the farm, the garden taskmaster, and you've got to see his turkey dance." So he was. So I do Saturday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, Monday from my camper, and
Mhm.
my brother was out front of the camper telling a hunting story, and he's talking about the turkey and "Burr, burr, 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 turkey, turkey dancing," and I turned the camera to him mimicking a turkey, and everybody was, "You're a jerk." He's like, well, jerk wasn't the word he used, but wasn't happy anyway. So
That's
if you
funny.
get a chance to check those videos out,
I will.
um, how do you prepare for your tutorials? How do you like make the whole thing first, or do you do the tutorial as you make it? How do you prepare for those?
Well, sometimes it depends on what the project is and whether it's just a stitch tutorial. What I do is I actually, which I can share with you right now, I try to plan a month's head. Um,
Wow.
and try to get all of my just stitch tutorials or just really simple tutorials out of the way. That way I can focus on my designs.
Right.
Sometimes I do have to make one ahead, and then sometimes I will work on it, record it, work on it some more. So it is kind of more of
Yes.
the work on it as I do the tutorial. So,
I have a hard time making the same thing twice.
yeah.
So when I do my block party on Monday, I normally have to make one
Mhm.
and set it aside so I can, and then I have to make another one as I do the tutorial. However, when I do the tutorial, I usually only do about 3 rows, and then
Yep.
I'm like, okay, because
Yeah.
I really do, even when I'm doing gloves or mittens
Mhm.
or what, I do not like making the same thing twice. Isn't that
That's
funny?
that's exactly how I am.
It's so
Especially when it's one
funny.
of those bigger projects, it's like
Yes.
I'm not taking the time. I'm sorry, y'all, if you're
Yeah.
confused, email me, but
Yeah.
I'm not making this again. So,
So a very good example of that is I made one of my tops. It was supposed to be a poncho, and I just added sleeves to it.
Mhm.
And my friend Lori, who's on a lot, she wanted me to make her one. She wants me to make her one. So she brought me the yarn and this and that. And I'm like, I just don't want to make. So I'm asking Margaret. I'm gonna send it to Margaret, and
Uh,
Margaret's gonna make her one because I just can't do it. Because I don't think twice. And the thing is, I make them up a lot as I go.
Mhm.
So I'll throw in a row of half doubles, or I'll throw in a row of V stitches or shells, and I'm like, oh wait, I'm supposed to be writing this down because somebody's gonna want, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So it's really. Do you find that you like to go a lot of freestyle? Like if you sit down to something and your own designs and creations, do you just kind of get in the middle of something and go, well, I'm gonna throw this in here?
Sometimes I do, and then sometimes, more times than not, I do have to find the stitch, exactly what, because how I do it is I'll find a stitch or even just look at yarn
Mhm.
and, okay, I can make this out of the yarn,
Right.
this project, and then now it's trying to find the stitch or what exactly I'm wanting to do. So that's
Yeah.
kinda how I go through it
So
now.
you're a bit more disciplined.
Yes.
I'm a
Yes.
bit more haphazard. I have a
Uh-huh.
tendency to make up stitches and
Mhm.
make up patterns as I go. I have to admit, this one I did not make up, and it's my favorite. I just love
Mm.
the weave on this.
Oh,
I
yeah.
think it's really cool. So have a fun time doing patterns, but then I also go rogue and I'm like, oh, what if I do this? And I go, yeah.
Mhm.
Uh, what is your favorite type of yarn to work with?
I wouldn't really say that I have a favorite, um, but if I did, it would have to be Hobby Lobby. I love this yarn. That would
I love
be
this
my
yarn. Yeah.
favorite. Which I don't really I have a hard time buying yarn online because I'm the person that wants to feel it. I need to touch it. I need to look at it because looks can be deceiving.
Sure.
And so I have to see it and I have to feel it in order for
So
me to so I go to Walmart, Hobby Lobby, Michael and
yeah.
Stillwater when I get the chance.
So
So,
do you go in and see the yarn and then go home and buy more online? That I'll do.
no.
No,
No.
really? Oh,
Nope.
well, try it sometime. It's awful. You'll never look. Oh, you can't see it. Hold on. There it is. That's why, yeah, that's my yarn wall. There it is.
My husband would probably kill me for doing
This
that.
was the spare room, and then it was the office, and now it's my yarn room.
Yep.
That's what it is. So,
But I'm also the type of person I do have, my yarn collection over there,
oh, yep,
some of it.
yep.
But I'm also the type of person that, I only buy what I need. So unless it's the Hobby Lobby clearance, that's when I go kind of crazy, but most of the time, I just buy what I need for that specific project.
I'm so jealous. That is such good restraint. I'm the type of person that sees a yarn I like and buys all of it. And then I'm
Ah,
like, well, I like that. Well, let me get the other colors. And
yeah.
so, but it is kind of cool. Like, if I'm sitting here working on something, I'm like, oh, I need a blue. And then I can just kind of pick it
Ju
without. But I
Yep.
love your restraint. I
Yeah.
absolutely love your restraint. Good morning, Jennifer and
Good
Isabella.
morning.
Good morning. If any of you have questions for Sid, go ahead and type them in there. I will scroll back through.
Okay.
Um, and if you see any that I do not, let me know. I do a lot of online buying, but that's because I've already touched it. So if I touch it and then I know, but I also like to find, do you ever go to craft or thrift stores and try and see yarn and buy it there?
I've looked here and I have never found yarn.
Really?
Yep.
Okay. It's tough because you're limited to how much,
Mhm.
because it's only what's there. So,
Right.
um, and then you get tons of little things that, well, what the heck am I going to do with it? So I make the squares out of it.
Yep.
There you go. So,
Right.
how do you stay updated with the latest trends in crochet or yarn or anything like that? You don't?
Nope. I don't. I just kind of free for all. I do whatever I feel like doing or whatever somebody else wants me to do. So
Cool.
I do not keep up with trends. I'm not a trendy person.
I don't either. So Karen wants to know where you live, in what state.
I live in South Carolina.
And Michelle would like to know, what craft would you like to try? That maybe the one that you haven't.
I really, really want to try pottery.
Nice.
Mhm.
That's a great one.
Yep.
Messy.
Oh,
But
yeah.
great.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's I told my husband, I said, "If we get one of the pottery wheels, it's not going in the craft room. It's gonna go outside because it gets flung everywhere." I said,
Yeah.
"You've gotta keep it wet," and nope, it's going outside.
Yeah.
So
I know that for a fact because my son-in-law does pottery.
Oh.
That's one of his side hustles, and he actually has made a career of it. And the house is if it's not covered with actual chunks of clay,
Mhm.
it's the dust. It gets
Yeah.
everywhere.
Okay.
So, but yes, it's a fun. I highly recommend it. It looks like a blast, but it is messy.
Yeah.
Build
I've
your own little cabin.
Yep.
um, you are Amber's spirit sister. That's what she says. What part of South Carolina, Sid? I am thinking of moving down there. Margaret's dad is in Myrtle Beach. Are you anywhere near?
I am about South Carolina is just trying to figure out the navigation of it. It's weird. Um, but I am an hour and a half roughly from Myrtle Beach. I am in I'm close to Goose Creek. I'm in
Oh, there you go.
Williamsburg County, so
Amber used to live
somewhat
in Goose
close.
Creek. Amber
Yep.
used to live in Goose Creek. Cool. Uh, it
Summersville.
me, it's me, Sam. It's me, Sam. How would you say that? Can you read that name?
I'm trying
It's me,
to
Sam. Oh, it's me, Sam. So, hi, Sam. I
I
think that's welcome. um, yeah, I would love to live. Well, I live on a river right now, but living on the ocean, I don't know that I'd ever get anything done. So,
That's why we're like an hour
yeah,
from our local or our closest beach. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
Because
that would be very tough for me to
yeah.
pull myself. I'd always be on looking for stuff. Looking for, walking the beach looking for stuff. Of course,
Yep.
I'd probably be in better shape, but whatever. Uh, what has been your absolute favorite project to date where you look at that thing and you're like, I'm so proud of that?
I have a few, but one of my favorite colors, and I'll get it. One of my favorite colors is yellow, and I love
Nice.
gradient yarns. Um,
Ooh, I can't wait to see what you're going to show us.
Last year, I designed a shawl or a wrap that's called
Beautiful.
what I can't even think of the name right now. That's bad. Um, Rays of Sunshine. There we go.
Nice. Look
So
at that. That's beautiful.
thank you.
Absolutely beautiful.
That one is probably my absolutely favorite just because the gradient of it.
Yes.
I'm a sucker for lace and
Aren't we all?
yeah. Yeah. So that is my ultimate favorite design that I've ever done in project.
That's beautiful. And I bet you that yellow goes great with your hair and your skin tone. You
Yes.
look like a I'm good in yellow person.
Yep. Yep.
They all like it.
Thank
Um,
you.
they all love it.
Which you can
Uh,
find that tutorial on my channel. So
all right. And by the way, everybody, Margaret has put up the link to Sid's channel. So go on over there and throw some yarn in the window if you haven't already.
thank
Just
you.
as
Thank you all.
Manamana says, make sure the window's open and you don't hit anybody in the head.
It's so at least it's yarn.
There it is. You're so good, Margaret. She's so good. I can't even take it. Look it.
So
Oh, hey, Marianne, while I have you, would you please put up a link to Sid's Etsy shop? Because
you
I hear you're a frequent flyer over there. So
which the easiest way to find my Etsy shop is probably actually on my community tab. Go down a little bit
Awesome.
because
Awesome.
if you look up just Sweet Pea Cyd, it might not come up.
Okay. Well, did it.
Thank you,
Yay,
Margaret.
Karen. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. All right. Now here's something I'm stressing with right now. How do you balance life with creating? Life with YouTube? How do you balance that stuff? Do you have a process? What's your process in making sure everything gets done?
Well, being a stay-at-home mom, I do have a flexible schedule, so if I do spend one day doing more projects than the other, it's not so bad. The biggest thing for me is being a mom and being a wife comes first before anything. So I do kind of have a schedule of things that I do. Usually Mondays and Tuesdays are the days that I try to record. Sometimes I'll add an extra day in. And then all the other days are usually spending time with my husband, spending time with my daughter, or just doing whatever, depending on how the weather is. Because usually on the weekends, that's when we're doing everything, getting caught up on things that
Right.
may have
Right.
slacked through the week. Um,
How old
some
is your daughter?
she's 4.
Aw,
She's 4. So
almost time for kindergarten.
yes, and I got tears in my eyes already just thinking about
Oh,
it.
I can remember my daughter Amanda, her first day of kindergarten. Oh my God. I can still close my eyes and I can see her little face. She put her hand up on the window. I'll cry.
Yeah.
She put her
Oh.
little hand up on the window. I can't. It
Uh,
was the most traumatic day next to going back to work for the first time. I
oh,
actually had to quit my job the first time I ever tried to go back to work because I cried all
mhm.
day. And they were just like, maybe you should just go.
Yeah,
Just go. So yeah, that took a bit. But yeah, the first
I
day of
get it.
school, exciting. It's one you'll always remember, but it's so
Yep.
they're not a baby anymore, right? Now you only
Yep.
have one. You only have one.
Yes, for right
Yeah.
now, yep.
Yeah.
Yep, that's the day that
That
it's kind of, bittersweet. It's, you know, you're growing up, but it's also you're growing up too. So,
Amen. Amen. Yeah, I had my daughter young so that when she had all the silly
mm,
running around stuff to do, not silly, but you know what I mean.
yeah.
All the stuff I was young enough to run around with it. If I had to do it
Uh-huh.
now, forget it. Just forget it.
So, Margaret asked, have you ever tried tablet weaving? I used to do it years ago, just got a set of tablets to mess with. Is that inkle weaving, Margaret? I'm not for sure what exactly tablet weaving is. I know what inkle weaving is, but not tablet.
Let
So I'm
me
not for
Google
sure.
it. Let's
Okay.
ask the Google machine.
Amber says she homeschools, so she doesn't have to do that. We've kind of thought about homeschooling because I don't trust the school system nowadays, and especially around here, it's just one of those things that we are trying to consider,
Yeah.
and might consider more in the future. So,
Okay. Margaret, are you kidding? Let me just say, I want this woman half of her brain, just half. Margaret, are you kidding me? Okay. So here's, hi, Fritzy. What's the matter, honey? Oh, wait. Where the heck am I? Look at, I just,
so,
I don't know. Hold on, everybody.
is
Hold on. Someone wants our attention.
that your puppy?
Yes. This
No.
is Fritzy. Say hi, everybody. I love you.
What kind of
Yes.
dog is
He is
he?
a long-haired Chihuahua,
Okay.
and he's not spoiled at all. Are you? Are you spoiled? I don't think so. Anyway, he wants my attention. I think he wants to go OUT, but you've been OUT, so you gotta wait. So homeschooling, I don't I don't think I could have done it, but I love the idea.
Yeah.
Um, I love the idea of it because the world's crazy. Period. Mic drop. The world's crazy. Not that it wasn't always crazy, but school is a different thing now.
Mhm.
Like if you look at what's that? A Christmas Story. The school in that when the kids, it's actually a family where the kids go and you know what I mean? The teacher's
Mhm.
part of the family. The teacher could whoop your butt. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Cuz and nowadays it's like it's so politically correct and so squishy. I just it's different, you know?
Yeah.
And so homeschooling I think is a great option. Are you pitiful?
The only thing is where she's been with me for 4 years and hasn't gotten as much socialization, that's what I'm afraid of. But we go it I'm afraid of it, but I'm also not afraid of it either. She is a social butterfly when we are out and
Yeah.
about. So, I do worry about it, but then I also don't. It's more of getting her off of my hip. So,
Yeah. Yeah. When I was little, I never left my mom's side until the first day of kindergarten.
mhm.
And I can remember vividly to this day, I told my teacher I hated her because she wasn't my mother.
Oh, jeez.
I was crying, sitting on her
Oh,
lap, and she's like, "What is wrong?" And I said, "I hate you." And she goes, "Why?" It's because you're not my mother.
jeez.
Little did
And
I know mom was in the parking lot the whole day. Mom didn't like
uh-oh, uh-oh. But too, and me and my husband, we were just talking about this. The curriculum nowadays too, for even just kindergartens. It's not I remember when I was in kindergarten, we had, we learned the alphabet,
Mhm.
maybe learn how to write and maybe the numbers, but the rest of the time was either nap time, snack time, or just playing
Right.
around. Now
Mhm.
it's I was watching a video actually on TikTok. They're doing subtraction and
Oh, yeah,
addition
yeah.
in kindergarten.
Up to
They need
20.
yeah, they need to learn how to write their name in kindergarten. They need to know how to, obviously know how to write or hold a pencil.
Yeah.
I'm just like, that's a lot for, that age.
I
And
yeah, it's
yeah.
crazy. I was a substitute teacher for 2 days, and the stuff
Mhm.
these kids were doing was crazy.
Yeah.
I'm like, "This is kindergarten. We should be eating glue and breaking crayons. This
Yeah.
is what we should be doing."
Yep.
And
Yep.
nobody ate any glue, thank you. Um, but I mean, the stuff they were learning like my nephew, he's 6. He's in
Mhm.
kindergarten, going in the 1st grade, and he knows 8 to the 3rd power. What? You're 6. You should be putting frogs in your pocket. Go
Yeah.
play. What
I
are you
don't
do?
even think I knew that.
I don't either. I
You
pretend he
know?
could tell me anything and I'd be like,
Oh,
"Okay, you're right.
yeah.
You're
Yeah.
right." Hello, Simply Made by Hand. Welcome. Um, what my youngest is going to be 7 in less than 3 months and we're just starting to learn to yeah. So I guess it's all at the kid's pace, man. You gotta but yeah, he's like, "Well,
Mhm.
that's 8 to the 3rd power." And I'm like, you could tell me whatever you want. The square I have no idea what that is. I'll ask Alexa and she'll tell me.
Right. So, Amber is asking where I get the bead supplies for my keychains and stitch markers. That's a secret. No, I'm just kidding. I actually buy them off of Temu.
Hey, Timu has its place, I'm telling you.
Oh, yeah. I
Yeah,
get I gotta refrain myself sometimes because they have a lot
same,
of cute stuff on there, and, I
same.
mean, I could spend some money.
And how many
All
text messages do you get with all the "You've got this discount and that discount," and,
I don't, my
stop it.
husband does. My husband does. I've turned the notifications off and text messages because I know from him, he gets at least a good 5 a day, and
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
like, I can't do that."
and God forbid I have a credit. So I
Yeah.
have a $5 credit and they just keep you gotta use it here, this, do
Yep.
this, ba 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 ba. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Yep.
Let me see. Can you tell us hold on. How about a project that you or a craft that you tried and you're like, "I'm never doing that again. I'm never doing that again." Is there
Cross stitch.
one cross it? Amen, sister.
Cross stitch.
Can I get an amen? Not from Karen because I know she loves it. I can.
Mm-mm. I'm
Oh,
To me, it feels like I absolutely despise weaving in ends, and that's what it feels like to me is
the whole
weaving in
thing.
ends,
Yes.
and I'm just like, "Whoever likes cross stitch, you can keep it because it ain't coming here."
Oh, I actually quick funny story, and they probably first of all, my dog's name is Fritzy. So that someone asked his name. Um, so I thought I would be the sweetest friend and make my friend a cross stitch for her camper.
Mhm.
And she saw me making it and didn't know it was for her. And she's like, "Oh, that's just queer. That's silly," or whatever she said. And I'm like, "Okay, so I guess it's mine now." And then 2 months later, when it was finished, I told her it was supposed to be for her, and she laughed. She laughed so hard. It was so fun. I'm like, "Okay, it's mine." Now, Karen, for some of the things that Karen has sent me, she
Uh-huh.
does it on the plastic canvas.
Mhm.
Bargello, whatever that stuff is. It's amazing. It's
Mhm.
absolutely, I love it. And like I said, if I ever have another grandchild, Karen will be making the Easter basket because I made one for my grandson and it was a nightmare. It was it was a nightmare. So I agree with you. Amen. That
Mhm.
cross stitch, yes. Yes, no thank you. But I do have a friend that I don't, it's in the closet. She made me a really cool cross stitch. Do I have it out here? No. And I love that she can do it and she's very talented. Can I put you down?
Nope.
Doesn't feel like it. No.
Nope.
He's like, no.
Nope.
Yeah, Karen is amazing. And plastic canvas is fun. Yeah, Michelle, you and Karen should chat because she's so good at it. It's just ridiculous.
Now, does she do, like, free for all, or does she use patterns, or do you know?
I think, Karen, I'm speaking for you right now. You do both, right? I think she makes stuff up on her own and she can do patterns, but I'm telling you, the stuff she does is beautiful. Seriously, my arm's getting tired. I would like to
Like, I
put you.
don't care. I don't
He's
care.
like, I don't care, Mom. We should be sleeping.
Mhm. As long as you're touching.
Exactly. As long as you're holding
Yep,
me, I'm good. So,
yep.
Karen, let me know if I'm wrong. I believe you do both. Well, somebody's sending us lots of hearts. How do I tell who that is?
I don't know. I don't know if you can.
Mm,
Now, Mama Winch, I wanted to let her know that her yarn and her stitch markers are on the way.
there you go.
So, I shipped them off
She
yesterday.
does do both. There you
Okay.
go. She does both. So, yeah, can you see those?
Kind of, sort of.
These are jasmine, but I don't want to stand up because I have ugly shorts on. But those are three jasmine
Mhm.
containers, I think is what you call them. Absolutely
That's
amazing.
awesome.
She made me a vase and I put some crochet flowers in it. It's actually at the fair as
I've
part of the
seen that.
decoration. Yeah, so
I've seen that.
she's
That's awesome.
Fritz is laying on the blanket I'm gonna put in the fair. I can't. I just can't. Can't. I can't. It's too much. Let me see. What are some common misconceptions that you think people have about crochet?
I know especially for my sister, because she's constantly asking me to, make her whatever, but she constantly because I tell her, I said, why don't you learn how to crochet? Because she's constantly asking me to make her whatever. She's like, I don't have the patience for it. I'm like, I get that, but if you know me, I can be the most impatient person ever. So
Right,
it's nothing about patience. So I feel like that's
right,
probably one of the most misconceptions is you have to have patience.
right. Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah. And yeah, I agree with that.
Mhm.
Concentration and patience. And
Mhm.
those are called ginger jar boxes. And I love them. I put my stitch markers in it. I put um my hooks, my pins, you name it, that's filled with it.
Okay.
So I
So
absolutely love them.
they're kinda like a little container, right?
Yeah, they're
Okay.
they're
That's
they're about as tall as this, and they're a little box
okay.
with a lid. I'm telling
Okay.
you, she's amazing. I love them.
I can
I
see
like
the
them.
colors and they look awesome.
Oh, they're beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah. And she also made me little squares to make a mobile for my grandson.
Okay.
It's faster and yes. Margaret, I
Yes.
was told that if you get the gotta finishes like I do, gotta
Mhm.
finish, gotta finish, gotta finish, that crochet is a lot better
Yep.
because knit takes too long. Do you knit as well?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I've done most of the things that I've designed has been beanies or cows with knitting just because of that reason right there.
Hmm.
with knitting, I've started making wraps and stuff like that, but I get to a certain point and I'm like, I'm over it because it
I'm
just
done.
takes so long.
I'm
It's
yeah.
I'm like, sorry
Yeah.
guys, but it just
It
takes
goes in the gotta finish some other time pile.
that
That's
or
why I have the Addy. That's why I have the Addy.
yep, that or it
I'm
gets
like,
ripped
digga,
out.
digga, 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 I'm
Yep.
done. Yay.
Yep.
A hat in 10 minutes. That's my kind of knitting.
Yeah.
That's
Oh
what I
yeah.
like to do.
Oh yeah. You can do a lot on them Addy machines too. I've
I
seen
know.
people do like sweaters,
Yes.
socks with the
I
little
did a cape.
ones.
I did a cape
Okay.
on it. It came out really cool. I'm actually bringing my Addy machine to the fair and I'm going to do a demonstration during the
Mhm.
fair.
Okay.
Will give me something to do while I'm sitting there for 12 hours.
There you go. There
Uh,
you go.
how do you engage your viewers to build the community around your channel?
It to me, it's just a matter of being in the community. Also, asking questions throughout your videos, um, building that trust and building the relationship with especially your most supported or your most supporters. Um, just stuff like that. So,
Yeah, that's a great idea.
mhm.
I try, like this past weekend, for my subscribers only. I did live pop up videos from my family reunion.
Okay,
And so it was just for my members, and it was actually fun. Give
that's
them,
good.
a little something. It had nothing to do with crafting, but it had
Mhm.
everything to do with me building the relationship with the
Right.
people who care enough about me to be part of my channel. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Not
Yep.
just so it's I want them to know, as you do, I'm sure, how much I
Mhm.
appreciate there's a million channels out there and they
Oh
pick
yeah.
me. You know what I mean? So
Exactly.
it's really cool.
Exactly. Exactly.
Give me a gadget for crafting. I don't care which kind of crafting. What is a gadget that you absolutely cannot live without?
I really don't know.
Oh, I've
I
got my
don't know.
my
That is a
yarn
hard one.
winder. Um,
Yeah,
I
well, yeah. Yeah.
so
Well, I get
there's just
there's
there,
too much. There's too
yeah,
much.
exactly. There's so many, and then you buy them, and you're like, oh, how did I ever do this without that? Right?
Yep.
It's
Yep.
exactly what it is.
I
Uh,
really like my Yarn Swift for Hanks. That is a game changer.
there you
Whether
go.
you spin or you do not spin, you get a Hank, get you a Yarn Swift because I'm telling you, it makes your life so much easier. I've
I agree 100%. I do not have one, and I will not buy Hanks because of it.
Yep.
Because so far now, I've bought Hanks twice, and they're a mess.
Oh yeah.
No matter how easy I try to go, I'm like, I can just do it real quick. No, no, no.
Yep. That or you're married, right?
Yeah,
Take your what I used to do is have my husband hold his arms like this and yep.
yeah, that wouldn't
Yep.
happen. I'm just saying, it's not going to happen.
But the I remember the very first time I tried to unhank a hank, it oh my god, I was like, "I'm
Amen.
not nope, I was not I refused to get another hank." And I just tossed it because it was just a
Yes,
mess.
and that was the Hank I spent $26 on,
Yep.
and I was like, no, I could get 7 of these and one of those, and these don't give me a headache. I'm not doing
Right.
that anymore. No, no.
Yep.
Let me see. With you being a spinner, you could not live with. Yeah. So she was
Yeah.
saying that you're yarn swift.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And I
All
mean,
right.
you don't have to get one of those big fancy ones
Mm-mm.
that, I've got one of the cheap ones that are plastic off of Amazon for $15.
Exactly. Exactly. And that's what I feel about my yarn winder too. I keep
Yep.
this thing mounted right here because I'll use some yarn. So
Mhm.
whenever I start a skein and I don't finish it, I want to cake it up.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I have a box full of these things, and if I don't feel like crocheting or I don't feel like something, but I want to do something,
Mhm.
I can always roll up a couple cakes, and then I feel like
There
I've
you go.
accomplished something.
There
Or
you
again, I'll rearrange the dang books, but whatever.
go.
Let me see. Oh, speaking of books, do you have do you have a favorite book that you go to, or in your collection, do you have a favorite book that you could recommend? Because, none of us have enough books. So,
I have a few, and I'll grab them real quick.
okay. Because Melissa needs more books. No, Melissa, open your eyes. Come to the dark side. While Sid's getting those, look what I checked out from the library yesterday. So it is crochet border designs, hundreds of classic and original patterns, and it's beautiful. Here you go. No, Monique, don't. Melissa, open your eyes and see the book. Come to the dark side. All right. So what do we got? Come on, go
So,
slow because we're going to need them.
so I've gotten pretty much a book for, well, two books for knitting, a book for spinners, and then Tunisian. Um,
Nice.
if you are interested in spinning, I highly recommend the Spinner's Book of Yarn Designs.
Okay.
And this is by Sarah Anderson. Oh, I absolutely love this book. She goes into detail. I hope I can share a little bit on here
Yeah,
without
yeah, yeah.
copyright.
Just be careful, cover any patterns or anything like that.
Okay. I don't think there's any patterns, but like she goes from like start to finish with the process of yarn.
Nice.
It says that there's techniques for 80 different types of yarns.
Wow.
I definitely recommend this book for spinners, especially if you're wanting to get started in it.
Right.
And she kind of goes over, and I have a video as well. What's the difference between a Z twist and an S twist, and how those type of yarns can determine the project that you actually need to use for those
Wow.
yarns.
Wow.
Um, yeah, so
That's cool.
I'm getting yelled at by my daughter.
Hey.
Wanna come here and say hi?
Good morning, Brandon. Well, hello, sunshine. Good morning.
Say good morning. Say that's Kim.
Welcome. Hi, honey.
You can say hi.
Hi. Do you like to crochet? Do you like when mommy makes you blankets?
Yeah.
Yeah. They're soft and fuzzy blankets.
She tries. We've got her doing finger crocheting right now.
Oh, look at this. Somebody sent me these for my birthday. Look at those. Do, 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 do. And I think you can, he's a little cupcake.
Look how cool that is. Say, mommy needs
Peekaboo.
to make you some of those.
Peekaboo.
Yeah.
They're pretty fun. And I know I'm holding them upside down, probably, right? Melissa and Monique made me these, but aren't they?
Oh,
Look at his hair. That's how my hair looks in the morning.
this
Yeah.
one. Her hair goes poof.
As it should. As it should.
But back to the books.
Okay.
This one is Tunisian crochet. Here.
I might need that one because I've wanted to do Tunisian.
You want to go back in your room?
No.
No?
No, you can
You
stay.
hungry?
She's hungry.
Can you
He's
give
a,
me a second? Or you want to go get you some goldfish, okay?
ooh, yay, goldfish for breakfast.
Well,
I
she's
know
already
I have him upside down. This way? I don't know. I don't know. They keep telling me I like him this way. Oh, that would make sense. His feet would be on the bottom.
Well, it could have been here too, so like you said.
I don't know what I'm doing. Anyway, okay, go on with your book.
So this one is for Tunisian crocheting, and this is by Anna. I don't even know how to say that last name.
Oh, that's a good one. Yeah, we just won't. That's a long last name.
But it gives you what I like about books is when they give you the graphs. And so
Yeah. Yeah. I struggled with them at first. Now that I've seen them, I rely on them.
Yeah,
You
that's
know?
how I am. Because sometimes patterns just don't make sense to me, especially when they're in a paragraph form, just to
Yes.
tell me how to
Yes.
do one stitch. I
Yes.
would much rather read a graph
See it.
than,
Yeah.
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 So, I definitely do recommend that one, and there's 150 different stitches.
That's
Um,
awesome.
I think
So
go
Amber
ahead.
just put that book on her wish list.
The Tunisian, yep.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah. Yeah.
then this is my ultimate favorite one with crocheting,
I have that
which
one.
is the new crochet stitches dictionary.
Yeah.
The only thing that I don't like about it is, like, some of the stitches I've noticed, they have different names than what they're originally called. That's what I don't like about them. And there's some stitches that I do have to watch a tutorial on to figure out how to do them. So
Yes.
with that naming being different,
Yes.
then
Yep.
yeah.
Yep. So I have that book behind me in my collection, and
Mhm.
in the way back I believe is where they have the squares. The granny square patterns. I think they
Yes.
do it in the back.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
we've done a few of them. There
Yep.
you go. We've done a
Yep.
few of them on my channel for the crochet alongs
Okay.
for my
But
live.
that one's also, these have also got the graphs in them too, which that's
Yes.
typically what I look at, which I just remembered looking at it. If you can't read graphs or if you have a hard time reading graphs, then that might not be the book for you because it does
That
not
was
give
the
you,
yeah. That was
it
the
does
one when
not,
I first looked at the graph, I'm like, "What is that?" I have no idea what that is,
yeah.
and taught myself to read the graph from that book.
Yep. Yep.
So,
But yeah,
um,
if you have a hard time with graphs, then it might not be the one for you.
you gotta
But
teach yourself,
exactly.
it just
Exactly.
so I have a book that actually had the paragraph and the graph,
Mhm.
and so it helped because I was reading it and looking, I'm like, "Oh, that's what that means."
Yeah.
So, it took the 2 to click, you know?
Right. What you doing?
Um As we get closer to the end, I want
Mhm.
to know two things. How do you deal with creative blocks or lack of motivation? Do you ever lose your Crojo and have to get it back?
I'm actually kind of going through that process right now. Um, Typically, to me, it just, my body's telling me that I need a break. And so I will either do small projects or I just won't do anything for at least a few days, if not a week. But I kind of really in tune with my body and what my body needs.
That's
So
good.
I usually take a break or just do something small to get
That's
that
good.
motivation
Yeah.
back.
And
So,
that's a good hi Tina. Hello Tina. Welcome. Um that's a good process because once you turn it into something you have to do, almost like Marianne and that shawl she was doing, it
yeah,
became something that was her nemesis. You have
yeah.
to get it done. I don't want to get there. I'm
Mhm.
trying not to get there with my flower blanket. I only have the tails to tuck in right now. So I'm
Right,
trying to keep the glass half full. You know what I
right,
mean? So
right,
I think it's good for all of us. Exactly. We've all been there. We all have that shawl, whether it's a blanket or a hat, whatever it is. We've all
right,
had that project that we're like, I can't.
right.
So it's really good, to, like you said, to listen to your body and say, I need a moment, walk away,
Mhm.
you
Yep.
know?
Or,
All right.
sometimes too, like I said, work on smaller projects. I will go,
Yes.
and for me, it's blending on fiber on my blending board. It's something that I can do that's
Yeah.
mindless,
Yeah.
and it makes me feel like I've accomplished something.
Exactly. And that's perfect, Brandon. Beware of the hobby becoming a habit or a hazard. That's true.
Yep.
If I don't love doing it, I'm not going to, I'm not going to do it.
Right,
So,
right,
and
right.
before we go, give me, what's coming up? What do you want to promote? What would you like us all, other than hopping on over and throwing some yarn in your window? Um, Give us some highlights of what's coming up.
Well, I do have my Etsy shop, of course. Now, I am currently in the process of finishing up a tutorial for my Shades of Fall bandana cowl.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Thank you.
Oh,
Um,
Margaret, I can see you wearing that all day long. Margaret, check it out.
I don't know.
Oh,
You can really see it.
That is so beautiful.
Thank you. Now, the one that I'm actually doing for the tutorial is with some Hobie yarn that my mom gifted me.
Pretty. Oh
I
my
love
goodness. I
I
love
love the
that.
color.
Well,
But
it's got purple in it. You won me. That's all it takes. All it takes is purple. Yeah, I can absolutely see Margaret wearing those. Yep.
but I've got that going on, and then next month I'm looking at publishing some refreshing content that's not just tutorials.
Good.
I'm going to keep some of that kind of secret,
Good. All right.
but I'm also looking at, for anybody who is wanting to learn how to knit, in November, I am looking at rolling out a series that's going to be called Knitting November.
Yeah.
And
Oh, fun.
so it's going to the basics of knitting and what you need to know and all that good stuff.
That's awesome. I'll be on that. I
So
have two knitting needles. That's all I have, and I'll be using those. Before you go on, some they want to know what yarn you used for both of those that you just showed.
So this one is the, do I have the tag for it? I don't think I have the tag close by, but this one is the Manarola, and I believe it came from Hobie.
Okay.
The color
Beautiful.
is color number 3.
Okay.
Um,
That's
so yeah,
beautiful.
that's that one. And then the one that I just showed,
Yeah.
the collar is Red Heart Super Saver. It's the tan or the beige. I can't remember because it was
Yeah.
scrap yarn. Hold on. And then this one is also Red Heart Super Saver in the color Lata. So
I love that. I love that one. Margaret, you need that. You absolutely need that, Margaret. I'm just saying. Well, I really enjoyed having you here today. Thank you
yes,
so
ma'am.
much. Thank you for being my first guest. No offense, you guys, that didn't give me a nightmare hanging around.
No
I think I
problem.
worked it out on my end as well. So I just need to be patient and wait for the guest. Um, I look forward to all of your stuff coming up. I will be learning knit from you. And
Mhm.
thank you again so much.
Yes,
And
ma'am.
say bye, sweetie.
Okay,
Say
bye.
bye. Bye bye,
Again,
honey. Thank
thank you
you.
for asking me to come on, and just I appreciate everybody who has thrown yarn my way, and
Absolutely.
just for the connections and all.
We'll have
So,
a yarn ball fight.
yep.
All right, everybody. Remember, always be happy, be kind, and be creative. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye,
Bye.
guys. Bye.